Welcome to Dream by Design with Melissa Banks, where women share their dreams, struggles, and successes. How they were able to persevere despite the fear and create the life they want and deserve. If you're looking for inspiration to move you past where you normally would stop, then this is the show for you. Here's your host, Melissa Banks.
Welcome to Dream by Design with Melissa Banks. I'm excited you could be with us today. I'm your host, Melissa Banks. Today, we have another amazing woman to share her journey with us and how she was able to keep going despite the circumstances. Today, we have Cora Christian. Cora is a mother, wife, entrepreneur, and instructor. She is the CEO of Beyond Beauty. She's no stranger to hard work and sacrifice. Her dreams were realized in 2018 when she started her own business. Beyond Beauty is a day spa focused on beauty, health, and wellness. She is the creator of her own detox water and Beyond Beauty Body Ice. Currently, her products can be found in over 80 spas and studios across the United States. Welcome, Cora, to the show. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Wow, I'm excited to talk to you about some of the amazing things that you're doing in your business. Thank you for saying yes to this interview. One of the things I did notice that you had a lot of success as an instructor. You were already a medical assistant and doing very well. So why start your own business? What made you want to do that?
I had great jobs, worked great jobs. But just kind of was uncomfortable. You know how you can feel uncomfortable sometimes, like I'm supposed to be doing something else. I should be doing something else. But what is that thing that I should be doing? So I just kind of took a leap of faith and just jumped out there and said, I'm going to do this. So I've been doing it. And I need to upgrade my bio, too, because we're in like over 200 spas across the world now.
Wow, congratulations. That is amazing, Cora. I just know how you feel when you're in a place, you're good at what you're doing, but part of you keeps saying there's something more that you can do, there's something more that you can do, and that pushes you into making a decision like you made. And it's time for me to jump out there and go with the feeling and give it all I've got and look at the success you had. I know it wasn't easy. You had to put in lots of hard work. I read somewhere that you had to get some additional training in the medical spa industry. So share with us some challenges you faced with just getting started, getting the training you needed, what other challenges that you came upon, and how you were able to overcome those challenges.
Yes, ma'am. In the beginning, because what I do, we do non-surgical body contouring, which is some procedures without you going under the knife to get invasive surgery. So in the beginning, it was very, very, very hard because we had to kind of get people to understand what non-invasive body contouring was, how it worked, and that it did work to get them like-on-like results. So trying to get the clients in and saying, hey, you can use this and to get these type of results. And, anytime you're doing anything non-invasive and you're saying this is going to work just by doing this, sometimes people are skeptical. So it was very hard in the beginning, but and the different trainings that we had to take or that I had to take just to make sure that I'm up to date on things, because this is a billion-dollar industry that I'm in, and it's always changing, just like anything. So definitely making sure that I stay up to date on things. So once I got that down packed, and once we were able to show the people that it did work, if you use our product, then it became a lot easier. Once we did that, the doors opened, and people just started coming in. But it's definitely hard work. I tell people all the time, you have to put in the work. There are no shortcuts. If you don't work, then nothing happens. So, yeah, I tell them you have to plan for everything. You have to prepare for everything so you can execute it as you should.
Okay, Cora, when I was studying and just kind of preparing for this interview, body sculpting was new to me. I wasn't sure I knew what it was and why women would step out there and get it done. So I can understand you saying that was some of the challenge that you faced. What ways, though, Cora, did you educate your audience? Because you're doing very well. You just said you're in 200 spas, and you're doing very well. So you did a good job of getting people educated as to what it is that you were offering and why they should choose that product. So what ways did you educate them? Did you have conferences, or how did you get people educated in understanding body sculpting?
We did a lot of social media marketing. Definitely a lot of social media marketing. A lot of people nowadays, some people say they're not computer savvy, but social media is definitely a free tool for you to utilize to promote whatever you have going on for free. So we did that. We definitely went and handed out a bunch of flyers. We did a bunch of different news segments, just kind of letting people know that I was here, what was going on, letting people know that there were safer options before they went under the knife or decided to take the invasive route. Definitely wanted to try the non-invasive route first. Groupon played a big role in my business as well. I know a lot of people do not like Groupon because of the percentage that they take and different things like that. However, it's a great marketing tool for you to get them in the door, to upsell your clients and show them the services that really work. So definitely a lot of marketing. We did do a lot of conferences outside of Mississippi, not just in Mississippi. We were in LA. We did a bunch of things for BeautyCon. We did Essence Fest, just passing out information, letting people know that you can get life-on-life results safe by going the non-invasive route.
Well, awesome. So what I heard you say, not only do you speak it, but you live it. You said you have to put in the work. And all those different avenues that you went down to just educate your audience shows that you were putting in the work. So if anybody that was listening, they could hear and see in the way you're running your business and the way you got your business up off the ground. You didn't sit back and say, you know what, here it is. You said, let me bring it to you, and you used different avenues to do that. And you talked about social media and how important social media was for you in order to get that information out there. So that is a very good point for our audience. Now, one of the things I wanted to ask you about was your first event, Seat at the Table. How was it? What was it like for you to see all that hard work you put in? You educated the people. You got your products in salons. You are now at a certain level, and then you were able to throw your very first event and see how people came out and supported you. So you got to see the fruit of all of that hard work that you put in. What was that like for you?
Absolutely. It was very emotional in a great way. I wasn't really sure what the response was going to be because most of my main supporters, they're out of town. So to see them fly in from New Jersey, from Connecticut, from St. Louis, and just from all over, even our in-town supporters, just to see them come there for me because I had something going on. It was a very emotional event, but it was also a great event, too, because a lot of people needed to hear the information. And I'm such a genuine person, so just for me being there and giving them the information, dropping those branding tips on them, telling them how I got started, giving them my journey, but not just doing that, but also giving them valuable information that they could take away and provide and, use in their own business. Because a lot of times we go to those events, I've been to plenty, and you hear the stories from the different women that have, went so far and doing well, but when you leave, it's like, okay, well, what do I do to kind of help myself, do what you did? You told me your story, but you didn't give me the information that I needed to kind of help me further along my journey. So we definitely gave them information to help them, like social media tips. They were taking notes. We was giving them different websites and just different. We gave them vendors if they were looking for stuff like clothes and boutiques and different things like that. So it was real emotional, but I was so happy that I did it. And I know that the women left that they took something with them. And then, like, how you go somewhere and it's like, I paid this and girl, I can't even remember what she was talking about. No, they actually was able to take away some valuable information, and they told me that it was one of the best events they had ever been to.
Oh, that's amazing, Cora, and it shows how important it is to give back, and not only give them a great experience, but give them something to be able to put in place when they walk out the door. And so often, just like you just said, so often we do go to conferences and we have a great time and it's beautiful, but when we walk out, we're not sure what we got out of it. So because you paid attention to that detail, you helped some other entrepreneurs go a little bit further in their business. If you joined us late, you're listening to Dream by Design with Melissa Banks. And today we're talking to Cora Christian, CEO of Beyond Beauty. Okay, Cora, I wanted to ask you about your detox water. You created your own detox water and your own beauty body ice. So tell me about that. I know you said that you were the first African-American woman to do such a product. So talk to us about how that feels and what made you want to create your own.
The detox water, I can't take all the credit for. It's an old family recipe that my grandma kind of made for when women in our family would have babies, and you know you're looking for a way to get your stomach down and you're trying to get your figure back after just having a baby. And she would always come to the hospital ready. You know how they bring the pitcher of water in with the ice? She would never let us drink that. She was like, no, drink this. So you want your stomach to go down? You want to get your figure back? Drink this. So that's how the detox water came about. Once I got into the non-invasive body sculpting world and looking for different things to help women kind of get back to themselves and feel good, women and men, feel good about themselves, I just looked at that water as a great opportunity to add into my business because it was already something that we had been doing for years in my family. So I just incorporated it into my business. The body ice definitely came about because I was using a similar product and wasn't too happy about the results. You know, a lot of times we take different classes and we do different things to try to further our businesses and grow our business. But to me, I thought it was a waste of time and a waste of my money taking this certain class and training with this company to use their product, and then I wasn't getting any results with this product. It was like to me, I thought it was a complete waste. But then me having that background in the medical field and knowing how the body works and knowing how this works and knowing how that works, I said, you know what? I'm going to create my own. Who says I can't? And kind of created my own, knowing what I wanted it to feel like, knowing what I wanted it to look like, knowing what I wanted it to do for the body, and just kind of came up with it. So I say all the time, I'm not going to say that it was luck. I'm just going to say it was, as my granddad say, about lesson is the best lesson. So it was one of those lessons for me, one of those about lessons, and that's how I stumbled across creating my own product. And yes, we are in 200 spas across America. Yes, and we do have one in Australia and Mexico as well. They're using the product as well over there. And yes, I am the first Black woman to create the body ice and the only Black person, period, to have a body ice product. It's 3 companies. You have mine, and then you have 2 other companies, and they're like, I think they're Mexican. They're Spanish.
Oh, wow. Congratulations to you for that accomplishment. And it also shows how pushing through and going to the next level is important in building your business. So your business is very successful, but we're coming out of COVID-19. So how was your business impacted? I say coming out. We're coming out of 2020, but we're still in COVID-19. But how was your business impacted with COVID-19, and how were you able to push through it or pivot your business?
I can honestly say in the beginning, I'm a part of that salon world, beauty shop world, massage world, where we was not considered essential workers. So we had to definitely shut down. definitely was kind of like not knowing where to go. Like, oh, my God, what am I going to do? I can't, because I'm a service-based business. So it's like, oh, my God, I can't perform services. Basically, pretty much the whole world is shut down. So even the revenue that I was receiving from the different spas purchasing the product kind of slowed down. So it's like, oh, my God, what to do? So during COVID-19, I took that time to write a book. And I wrote a book. It's called Plan, Prepare, Execute, Everything Beyond Beauty, and kind of just wrote about my journey. We put that book out during COVID-19. We sold like 1,700 copies in the first 2 weeks. Once that happened, I don't know. I think, they kind of got an influx in money, people had started getting the unemployment and different things like that. So the training classes kind of started to boom more. People looking for something to get into because they were losing their jobs or because, they wasn't really financially secured on, in their jobs. So they was like, let's do something else. So to be honest with you, we saw an increase just because of that.
I think that's wonderful. But one of the things you shared, though, Cora, was when you had to shut down, when you lost some of the revenue from the spas, you didn't say, oh, I quit. You said, what do I do now? And you did your book. And by the time that was successful, things had been turning into your favor and your business was able to turn around. So I think the key thing in there is not making quitting an option, how do I need to do it differently at this time. So that is huge. So what advice, Cora, would you give to a woman entrepreneur right now who's either starting a business like yours or thinking about getting into a business similar to what you're doing? What advice would you give her?
I say this all the time, and it's like my signature line. I tell them always focus on yourself. Pay attention to yourself. Don't let people rush you, because a lot of times social media too, make you feel like you're not doing enough because you're looking at the different people that are doing what you're doing, or you're looking at someone else who, is doing great, and you feel like we're human. We feel like we're not doing enough because we're watching their journey. But I tell people all the time, you are enough. Don't let social media fool you, because a lot of times people are not doing anything. So I tell people all the time, keep your eyes on your own paper, just like they used to tell us in school. And if you do that, you will succeed.
Oh, absolutely. Now, Cora, I read somewhere that you stated that your hope is to inspire women of color. Share with us briefly ways that you do that.
I always try to give back. We did a girls' tour before COVID-19, and I hate COVID-19. I think everybody hates COVID-19. But before COVID-19, every year when school would start, we would host a girls' tour, and I would make it my business to go around and just talk to all women of color, all girls of color at different high schools. Definitely wanted to make sure that I went to my high school that I graduated from, which was Lanier High School, because I wanted them to see someone that used to sit in the same seats that they're sitting in, so that if feeling lost or feeling like there's no hope, look at me. I sat there probably feeling the same way that you're feeling, coming from where you're coming from, looking exactly like you. So don't ever let anyone tell you that you can't do anything. I always let them know when I first started my company, because I'm Black, and because the other two companies, are Spanish, that it was a lot of backlash from those companies. But I tell them all the time, I never responded to any of it. And now they were started 8 years before me, and I'm already ahead of them. So I let people know all the time, young Black, beautiful Black women, that whenever you have a dream, whenever you set your mind and say, I want to do this or I want to do that, just go for it, because just being a Black woman, that is our superpower, because we carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. And all women, but I just want to inspire women of color. just to make sure that if you set your mind to something, you do it, and no one can tell you that you can't because they're not God. Only God can tell you no. And if he says yes, then who's to tell you no?
Absolutely. Well, that's wonderful. I totally agree with you on that. So how do you encourage yourself? What are some things that you do or places that you go for encouragement and inspiration? Because I know what it's like to build a business, and sometimes we need some uplifting as well. So where do you go to get that uplifting for yourself?
Ooh, wait, girl, I go to Cora May's house, which is my grandmother. I go there and just kind of place all of my weight on her. I do have a support system. I definitely have a husband, so he feels a little bit of it as well because we're a team. So I definitely confide in him. But when I really just need to get away, because I am a mom, so I have to balance a lot of things. Like I tell people all the time, even if I'm off from my salon, I'm not off because I have a shipping company. We ship out my products every single day. So I'm not out from that. I have to make sure the orders are shipped, tracking numbers are sent, and I do all of that part myself just to make sure it's done correctly. So then I have to come home. I have to be a mom. I have 3 beautiful children. So definitely have a daughter. So definitely want to make sure that I'm there for her as well. So it's a lot. But when I do need to reset, I just kind of take some time off and I reset myself. Definitely, like I said, I go to my grandmother's house and vent to her. But most importantly, I like to just kind of ride around in my car and listen to music. If that's what I do.
Well, it's important to reset yourself, give yourself a moment to breathe, and then get right back to the work. So thank you for sharing that. One last thought I did want to mention to you is I saw a quote that you said, and it was so powerful to me, and I wanted to make sure the audience heard it. And you said, success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue. How important is that to you?
That is very important because, like I said in the beginning, when I felt like I had wasted so much money and that wasn't working for me, that product wasn't working for me, and if I had said no, I'm just about to stop, I'm about to quit, then I wouldn't be where I am now. I wouldn't have created my own product. It was me saying, okay, you know what, that didn't work, so let me create my own because I can't fail. This has to work. So just that courage and that will to keep going. You have to keep going no matter what it is. I always tell people Rome wasn't built in a day. And then I tell people all the time when you look at the different platforms like Amazon, how it became about. And, he started in a one-room office with a computer, So I tell people all the time, you just have to keep going, and people are going to talk about you. That's human nature for people to do that, but you have to tune all of that out. And like I say, keep your eyes on your own paper and keep going.
Oh, that is so wonderful. This conversation with you, Cora, has been absolutely amazing and so inspirational about dreaming the dream, doing the work, and keep going. So thank you so much for sharing that with our audience today. Now tell our audience how they can stay connected to you.
All right, you can always, we have a website. You can get on our website. It's Beyond Beauty, OFMS.com. Our social media on Facebook is Beyond Beauty of MS. And on Instagram, it's Beyond Beauty LLC. Or you can call us at 601-316-4729.
Thank you again, Cora, for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you to our audience for joining us for another edition of Dream by Design. I'm your host, Melissa Banks, saying all your dreams are possible. Believe in yourself, work hard, and don't quit. Until next time, thank you for choosing Dream by Design with Melissa Banks, and enjoy your day.